Hello, my name's Jamie and welcome to this week's tutorial. This week we're going to take a quick look at doing a run cycle in Blender 2.5. The rig that I'm going to use is Cartoon Guy, which you can find on blendswap.com if you just search for character rigs. It's the 2.56 version, but it works perfectly fine in 2.58. I haven't had any issues with it so far. I was going to actually be doing a tutorial, another one on the cow, a bit of some shape key stuff, but I need to figure out some of the finer details of that. So for this week we're going to the run cycle. So when you first get the download the file and everything and open it up, this is what you'll be seeing. So I'll just quickly rearrange things to how I like them. So I'll just merge that there, merge that there, make that a bit smaller, don't need that to be so big. I can merge the buttons window over there. I don't think we'll be using that area very much at all. Then there's a code screen there which I'm going to turn into dope sheet, which can be a bit useful. And then I will change it to action editor and create a new action, name it run, and select all these keyframes and hit X to delete them, so there's no more keys. You can see I can tell there's like lights and the camera and stuff are on this layer, so I'll just turn them off. And I will select everything with A, because it's still in pose mode and everything. Let's hit Alt R, Alt G and Alt S to set everything back. You'll notice that he is still smiling. Without a little bit of work you can't really put that back to default, but it's fine as is, it's not going to affect anything. And then I'll just start turning off some of these rig layers. I'm turning off torso 2. I'm not going to need the face controls at all. Turn off fingers 2, IK for the arm, FK for the legs, turn off extra. And that's all we really need for the run cycle. So I'll just make sure that I'm in 24 frames a second, because the run that we're going to be doing is, I think it's a 6-frame run, so each step takes 6 frames, which will give you 4 steps over a second. So that's a sort of, it's a slightly exaggerated cartoony run. That should be fairly good. You can use the sort of general poses and stuff that I'll show you to animate your own characters and just sort of exaggerate a bit less or a bit more, however you need for your specific needs. So to start off with, I'm going to start with a contact pose, where he's just come in from a step and he's about to launch to the next one. So to get there, so we want the foot. I'll just hit comma to make sure we're rotating around the object rather than the cursor. So hit R to rotate that foot up a bit, and then move it forwards. You can see it's starting to move away from the model, so I'm just going to squat him down so I can get the foot out to about where I want it. And then this one needs to be sort of pretty much the opposite rotation of that one. It's sticking out a bit. and then I can bring him back up on the Z until the leg's almost completely straight, and then just selecting these two, I rotate him forwards a bit so that he's leaning into the run. You'll find a lot of new people to animation they'll forget to lean the character in enough, and so it just sort of look like a weird run that is not putting much effort into it. So just rotate the hips down a bit, and that maybe bring that mid a bit. That looks about right. And then the arms, and I just realised I haven't turned on auto key. Now I'll turn that on, and I'll just select that, and that, and that, and hit I, location rotation, and that one as well. So that's all we've done so far. And then with the arms, it's sometimes more useful to have the widget on, or the manipulator. You can turn it on and off. I especially like using it for the shoulders, just because it helps to let you see where things are and how they're rotating. You want to rotate the arms, the shoulders in the opposite direction of the hips, and you want a fair amount of movement, but not too much. So I'll say about there. Then I'll just rotate this arm in, because it only rotates on the one axis. It's a lot easier to see what's going on when you're rotating the rest of the arm. So I'll just bring this one out a bit, and then rotate it down like that, bring it up, and I want to create a sort of a gentle curve coming across the upper arms. So I'll just bring that down a touch, and then bring this one back up a bit, and we're going to bring this one in, and again with having to see what's going on, bring the arm in like that, and then rotate it out if it's going to work. There we go. So you can see that one's still pointing out quite a bit, so just select that and bring it in a bit more. And bring this one up a bit like that, and then I'll just select these finger bones, scale them down, just rotate the view so I can see what's going on, bring them out a bit, and then rotate the actual bones. And I did that not in the correct perspective, or just use the X one here, so that's a bit better. And then select the thumb and rotate that in. Or sorry, I'm scaling that in. That looks alright for a fist. Now with these, I'm just going to select these finger bones and just using middle click to slide that across. Copying this pose and pasting opposite, and that just gives me a fist in the other hand as well, that you can see there. So back into the side orthographic, and I'll just bring this fist back a bit. Bring this fist up this way a bit, and just sort of create that curve that I was talking about now. So there's the initial pose. What we can do now is basically select everything. I won't bother with that. But yeah, most of that, or I'll get rid of the selection of like the stretching things as well, because I don't need to work with that. And just copy and paste opposite on frame 7, and then frame 13 paste normal, and there's the initial sort of look at the movement, the timing of the run. There's still a lot of work to go into it, but you can get an idea of the timing and stuff now by just looking at that. So the next, I think most important frame is the sort of the passing up position, which is the one just before he sort of launches off the ground, because one of the most defining things of a run is that both feet come off the ground at one point, and that sort of helps in the physical world, sort of, because you come up completely off the ground, you got more gravity pulling you forwards, but that's not where we want this to be. So currently looks like he's riding a bicycle, which isn't what we want. I'm just going to hit Alt R on that foot, bring it down. I'm just using this control here. I'm going to rotate it up to get the foot bending of the toe, and then bring it back quite a bit. You'll notice that I'm doing my best not to move the hips in the left or right. I'm only moving it up and down, and that just sort of helps keep everything smooth and stationary. This foot I want to bring it up a bit, and just sort of don't want it to be too much there. And I do want this to come up not a lot, say about that much, because I want this to be the high point of the run, even though there's not actually a lot of up and down movement. Just bring that in. And then these arms, I'm just gonna rotate the shoulders forwards a little bit, and start putting the arms sort of into position. Just bring that down and out a little bit, just sort of say just past the knee, and I'll add in a bit of drag as well to the hand to make things a bit more believable. I'll just do similar with this one, and add a bit of drag to the hand because it's just moved in this direction. That looks okay. So starting to get there now. We can do another copy and paste of the pose and paste that there. And so we're starting to get something that looks a bit tidier now. You could potentially stop there and be happy with that if you need a very quick job, but we'll go in and fill the other frames, just sort of polish it up a bit, because at the moment his feet are coming off the floor in odd places and stuff. I'm actually not, that's the rotation of this. I'll just Alt R there, bring that down. Yeah, that was just that one frame that I was being silly on. But yeah, they are, the feet are coming up there and there where they shouldn't be. So with that in mind, just Alt-Ring there, and then Alt-R on this foot bone to bring it flat down to the ground. This is on frame 2. Here you can see. You can also see there and over here and stuff exactly what the frame is. And this is the down pose, so I want to bring him down a little bit. Again, I could have brought him all the way down here or something, but I mean, maybe even the amount I brought him down was a bit too much, so put that there. This foot just sort of needs to be relaxed a bit. Bit less rotation there. Sort of get an idea of what we're looking at. And as with any down position, you want the arms to be at their maximum extension. So, I mean, we don't want a lot more than what we already had, but you want them to be at least noticeable to you when you're working on it. And just a bit of movement in the hands as well. So you can see, just between those two frames, it's not a huge amount of movement in the arms, but it just sort of adds to the cell. And I'm not going to copy and paste quite yet, I'll just go and do the next frame, which we want to sort of bring it more, I want to bring it closer to this key here rather than this one. So bring this foot back in the Y a bit, not completely stretched out, but closer than it was, so it's only got that much to go. Maybe add a bit of drag to that foot, bring it up a bit. Rotate that back a little bit more. And just move this arm a bit, like that. Doesn't need a lot of movement, the arms there in a fairly good position so far. That looks about right. And then these are the two keys where we do want the feet to be off the ground. The two frames, sorry, where we do want the feet to be off the ground. And it's sort of a judgment to how fast your character's moving and how exaggerated you want everything to be as to how high they're going to be off the ground. So for the sake of exaggerating things quite a bit, I'm going to make this first frame quite exaggerated. I'll just get rid of that there with Alt-R on that bone, and I'm really gonna sort of bring that foot quite high up and squeeze that one in like that. Bring that one up quite high as well. Maybe even higher for that one. And this is sort of where you want to really add some extra lean into what's going on. Bring these arms, these shoulders are a bit skewiff, so I'll just bring those up like that. Bring that arm out a bit, bring this one up, straighten it out a bit, so it's really compressed down into what's going on. You probably want to start bringing the head down and stuff as well at this point. but I won't, so I haven't done any of the animation on the head yet. And then that just sort of, that in between there that's generated is good enough for me for now. Although if you want to sort of make it look like he's hanging in the air more, then I'd bring this frame to look more like that one. Or if I wanted to only have him in the air a little bit, I'd bring it more closer to looking like that. But for now, just in the middle's fine. And so I'll just copy and paste these keys. So copy that one, paste opposite, copy that one, paste opposite, and copy this one, and paste opposite. That should, theoretically, because I've got it set to end on 12 on this frame, it should loop back around to this one. And yep, there we go. There's a bit of, looks a bit funny at the moment, so we can sort of look at I can tell. So that comes from I don't think this bone had a rotation key at the start. So what I'll do is just copy that. Yeah, you can see it's moving. Paste that there. So, but I don't want it to be there as well. So I'll just paste there, and then yep, that's okay for him to be down like that. Paste there as well. Yep, that's okay. So that was just the one bone. Going a bit spaz. Still having a few issues there. I suppose this is where you might want to go into the graph editor, although there's a lot to look at and start trying to figure out where things are screwing up. But for now, assuming that everything didn't screw up, this is what it should be looking like. So this is a quick run that I had going just before. I haven't actually added any extra animation by the looks of it to the top of the ribs, and that's allowed everything to sort of look alright. So with that, I hope you found this a bit useful. Leave any comments or criticisms, or any ideas of what you would like to see in a future video tutorial. I'm always happy to see what I can do with regards to that. Until next week, enjoy.